actual mental tests in the first week. Find out if you're a psychopath so we can get rid of you. Hopefully you are a sociopath, right? That's what we're looking for. A little bit of balance there.
Okay. You
Yeah.
get on a bad team, people are getting their ass whooped, correct?
Let's jump into day in the life at SFAS. That's sort of phase one, what Jake was just talking about, phase one for them, right? So you're going to go out to Camp McCall and drive 45 minutes out into basically the woods and swamps of North Carolina. You're going to stay in a barracks. It used to be tents. They actually changed over from like the tent cities to the barracks right before I got there. Essentially at SFAS, every day is sort of structured. There's three sort of phases. You got week one, which is a lot of your gates and tests, land nav training. Week two is land nav. Week three is team week. The days are still structured pretty much the same the entire way. Just what you're doing during the day kind of changes. From day one until technically 19, you're going to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. You're going to have you're not going to shower. You're going to have like 10 minutes to get ready because you don't want to wake up any earlier than that because you're already getting fucking sleep depth into the ground. You're also going to go to sleep no earlier than midnight every single night. Okay. So you're going to get 4 hours of sleep at most all 19 days, right? So you're going to wake up.
What drives the bedtime of 12 p.m.?
It's just what they've decided. So let's say like during team week, if your team's really good, you could get it done at like 2:00 in the afternoon. Like if you just crush it, you've got 10 hours technically off, but you're not allowed to go to sleep. You're just forcing sleep deprivation, whether you like it or not. So even if you got done, you succeeded, you got done early, you can't go to sleep. Yeah,
so
go ahead.
In Buds, we call it the Bat Cave. We had this super duper hideout spot that you could disappear to. And then you leave one guy on watch and everybody else will sleep. There's no
typically you're getting done around 10:00 at night. By the time you shower, you get ready for bed, it's like 11. It's not really even that big of a deal. But I will say if they catch you, right, some guys try to like sleep and keep a lookout. If they catch you, your ass is getting dropped. So think about is it worth your entire Green Beret career to try to get an extra 15 minutes of sleep? I never thought so. So usually everybody's just kind of hanging out, chilling, waiting. Now, also, there's times during team week, if your team's shitty, you may get back at 11:00 at night, no dinner, no nothing, get back, lay in bed for a couple hours, wake up and go do the same shit over and over again. But I'll sort of start from the beginning, right? So first week, wake up at 4 a.m. You're going to get your shit up, get ready, maybe like 5-10 minutes, like Jake said. You're just going to like whatever it takes you to put your shoes and your uniform on. You're going to go. You're going to do a big PT, like an actual gated PT event every day in the first week. So it's like first day is a PT test. Second day is a 4-mile run test. Third day is a 6-mile ruck test, maybe 5. Fourth day is another like 6-mile run test. And then you have a 10 or 12-mile ruck test on Thursday. And then Black Friday, log PT. You're just going to get fucked up for like 5 hours straight, log PT and all that. That's your first week. Very structured. You're going to, throughout the day after that first PT event, then you're going to do a bunch of different types of testing, math tests, psychological tests. We do a ton of actual mental tests in the first week. Find out if you're a psychopath so we can get rid of you. Hopefully you are a sociopath, right? That's what we're looking for. A little bit of balance there. They're doing all those testing. You're also going to get all your classes on land navigation and stuff like that through the day. All right. For food, you're going to wake up. You're most likely not going to eat breakfast because you get 2 MREs a day. That's it. Up until potentially team week. If your team can get done in time before chow, you're allowed to eat dinner chow. But other than that, 2 MREs a day, which as you know, that's like what, 1,400 calories a day? 19 days, 4 hours of sleep. Yeah. So you're going to start smelling like ammonia. You're going to like progressively start like burning all the meat off your body day in, day out. Second week, you're going to get into land navigation. The first 2 or 3 days are practice. And that's during the day. And then you'll sleep at night. And then when you do the actual land navigation test, 2 days, it's going to be at night. So you're going to go basically swap your sleep schedule. You're going to step off. I don't remember. It's usually when it starts to get dark. And then you have basically 12 hours to complete your land navigation, which is shit. You're moving like 10, 15 miles through the woods in the middle of the night. Yeah, you'll do 2 days of that. Provided you pass, you move into team week, 4 a.m., wake up every morning. Team week's where it gets pretty hairy because you're back in the barracks. Every morning, you're going to wake up, get your stuff on, eat quick, head out, do your team week events. Everybody's seen it, 3 weeks in hell, right? Like this is the hardest phase physically. Your guys' is hell week, Bud's hell week, and then team week are like as close as we can get as like what they're really doing difficulty wise. And yeah, you're going to pray to God to get a good team, because if you get a good team, you could finish at 3 p.m. You get chow, you get 6 hours off to rest. You get a bad team, some of those dudes are coming in at 11:45 at night, no food, no chow, getting in bed, getting up and doing it again. You're gonna do that for
So
4 straight days.
when you say chow, do
Yeah.
you mean the chow hall, like all you can
Yeah.
eat, or is it
Yeah.
MREs again?
No, chow hall. So if you're, this is like a big incentive, and they do it on purpose because then the bad teams really start to like infight, and you start to really see the worst parts about people. Because when if we don't get back to the McCall gates before the chow hall closes, now we get one MRE. We don't get the fucking fatty cakes and like everything that the chow hall has to offer. So if your team's good, you get that dinner at the chow hall. That's a big deal, right?
I'm gonna be devil's advocate. If you
Yeah.
get on a bad team, people are getting their ass whooped. Correct?
Ass whoop, no, but like the peer system, like we do pink slips for people you don't like and stuff like that, will be brutal,
Okay.
man. Like
How
especially on
how
bad
quick
teams.
how quick can you get rid of a kid that's holding you back on a bad? So I'm gonna get like in buds,
Oh, get rid of. I mean, yeah, you'll have guys screaming at him to quit and shit. Like, hey, fucking just quit, just quit. Like,
but you
there's a
don't beat
lot
them
of
up.
bullying. No,
You
no, no.
don't.
They're not gonna let you do that. Well, they might have like back in your day in the '90s, but not anymore. No.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dog. Like 2 years ago, 2 years ago, one of my dudes got beat up. Okay, and it was appropriate.
Yeah.
He got beat
I
up.
fist fights later in the course, but at SFAS, it's like so structured, and like you have cadre there right next to you the entire time. Everything you're doing, there's a cadre overwatching you. Although I've seen guys come close to blows, but the problem with that is if you were to get in a fist fight with a teammate during team week in front of an instructor, you'd probably both get dropped, because what they're going to say is you don't have the emotional maturity for you to be here, right? Because for us, they're looking for a dude that's like extremely mature, extremely emotionally mature and stuff like that. You'll see guys get bullied into fucking quitting during team week by like the team when they're
Yeah,
liability, man. Like that's a real thing for sure.
I had a dude in my buds class who had already been through buds, already went to a team, and got sent back to buds as punishment. Okay?
Oh my
We're
God.
we are
What?
yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I didn't know all this until I did
So
what I
he
did.
was a qualified SEAL with a
No, he
Triton?
didn't get his pin. Didn't get his
Oh,
pin.
okay,
He
okay.
went there, had some problems. He was a
Got it.
intelligence specialist, which was really rare for us to have.
Yeah, because you guys have like SQT, right? Do you get your Trident after SQT,
Now
or
you
how
get
does
your
that
Trident
work?
after then, but back in the day, you had a 6 month probationary period after you went to SQT. So, and
Oh,
SQT was run by the coasts. So there was an SQT on the East Coast, SQT on the West Coast. So like I got to SEAL Team 8, I had to wait 6 months to go to SQT because I missed the class by a week.
wow.
Yeah.
So
So
you
it,
so
it
you finish buds, you could go to a team and then wait
yep.
to go to SQT.
Yeah, well, you ain't really waiting. Like I was an officer, so I got sent to the woods for 3 months. So I got to do a workup
Okay.
with. I was a safety officer for another platoon. I got sent to Korea. Like they're gonna use you. You're not gonna just be sitting around doing nothing. You're gonna
No,
learn. They're
but
gonna.
I mean, you're not a qualified SEAL, even though
Uh.
you're on a team waiting to go to SQT to
Yeah,
become
yeah.
qualified.
No, like I didn't get my.
Oh, that's kind of
I mean,
crazy,
it might have been a year after I got to the teams before I actually got my pin because I had to wait 6 months to go to
whoa.
SQT. So and you can't
Dude,
get your
how how
yeah.
is how is that as like as a new guy? I know for us, like that your first year as a qualified Green Beret on a team is pretty brutal, right? You are treated like absolute dog shit. I can't
Yeah.
imagine what it's like for you guys to have like a non qualified SEAL on your team.
It
Is it that
it
big of a
don't
deal, or
matter.
is it's pretty
It,
normal?
Yeah, it's normal. It's like just it's built into the system. But we were at Buds, and so this young man, we were paddling out through maybe like just call them ripples. And every time a ripple hit the boat, he'd fall out. I said, "Hey man," I said, "What are you doing, bro? Like stay in the boat, man. This we ain't even in real waves." He's like, "I'm trying." I'm like, "Well, hey motherfucker, you better try harder, because I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna make it in this boat crew."
Yeah.
So literally, we get him back in the boat. Another little ripple comes. He falls out the boat. I hit him with the paddle. Win. Okay. Everybody in my boat crew's like, damn, Jake. I'm like, I can't have this, man. So I put him on a coxswain handle, which is this little handle in the back of the boat. I wouldn't let him get back in the boat. So everybody's like, look, man, he's holding us back. Like he's a sea anchor. I said, hey, but I'm gonna give you one more chance. Okay. If you fall out this boat, you're done. So he got back in the boat, started paddling. Now, here's the problem. We ain't at Camp McCall. Okay. We in front of the Hotel Dell in the middle of the daytime with 2,000 spectators.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, because people like to come out and watch when you guys are doing this
It's a
stuff, right?
beach. It's a big
Yeah,
ass
yeah.
Southern
Right,
California
right.
beach. Like
That's
there's
right.
2,000 people out there. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we were practicing rock portage. So we just making laps on the rocks, right? So man, I remember I got in the boat, man, a ripple, not even a wave, just a little ripple. The boat moves a little bit. He fell out. I lost my shit, man. Like I lost it. I fucking, and we were like, let's say we were 50 yards off the beach. We in like 2 feet of water. Man, I jumped in the water. I grabbed him by his K-pop, which is life jacket, and drug him all the way into the beach. Like we're in like maybe waist deep water. I drug him, ran with him all the way to the instructors, dragging him like a rag doll behind me. Okay. I threw him at the instructors and said, get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And then I left and I ran back to my boat, and then we did what we had to do, right? Later that night, I had to talk to some people because they were like,
yeah, you can't
do that at Hotel Dell.
Right.
And we saw you hit him with the paddle.
Yeah.
I said, look, I can only tell you what I can tell you. He don't need to be here. Not in this class, you know.
Yeah.
So little different animal, but it still goes on, right? Like the instructors in buds, it's a little bit different because the instructors will have you go beat somebody up. So
that's crazy, man.
The no missions is killing the SEAL teams right now. So you're back to having guys do 2 platoons and get out. One of my best guys I have is getting out because he said, I have no combat at all.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned on the War Room to you, Jake. With Green Berets this year, we went negative 600 Green Beret in personnel, and we brought in less than half of that, made less than half of that new Green Berets. So we essentially are losing 300 plus Green Berets a year in a unit that's got about 5,000 guys, which, as you could say,
are you always undermanned, Nate?
We didn't used to be.
Okay.
Bro, when I first got to the teams in 2015, early 2015, I walked into my sergeant major's office, right? And they had just gotten back off of a rotation to Afghanistan, like maybe half a year prior. I walked into the sergeant major's office very first day. He sat me down. I looked up. He's got this giant whiteboard, and it's got every ODA, and it's got every MOS position on that ODA with a name in front of it, right? The rosters for every single team. He looks at me and he goes, there's 6 teams in the company, 6 12-man teams. He looks at me and he goes, can you swim? And immediately I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm going to a dive team, aren't I? And he was like, I've got one spot open. If you want to go to a team, you're going to the dive team. And I'm like, well, fuck it. I want to go to a team, right? There was one spot open on the entire company's roster when I got there. When I left and retired in, late 2023, almost 2024, every ODA had about 6 to 7 guys on in total. You know, maybe 6 to 8 guys per team, super, super undermanned. So in that 10-year time period of the height sort of the early, 2013, 2014 to 2018, a lot of war still going on. Teams were filled. Nobody was getting out. We were plussing the ranks up. That last Afghanistan rotation around 2019, when everything died out, you just saw this straight downward. And we also don't have anybody numbers wise coming to join. Nobody's volunteering. I'm hoping now with kind of the recruitment changes and sort of the military being plussed up as like a cool thing to do again, that's going to get fixed. But man, we were in a downward spiral going down fast.
I'm going to argue, Nate, that I don't care how many people sign up for it. I still think we're at a tipping point in American culture where our kids don't play outside. And I'm gonna tell you this: you ain't gonna become a Green Beret or a Navy SEAL unless you play outside.
So I agree with you. God, man, this was 2022, 2023-ish when I was still on the teams and senior leadership position. Bro, the new guys we had coming in out of the Q course, like 20% of them were your typical, like straight in the door hitter, dude's in crazy good shape. He's ready to perform. Now, there were some of those dudes still come through, but then we had 4 or 5 dudes that were just fucking problem children, showing up to the team out of shape, showing up to the team can't run, showing up to the team not knowing your fucking job, showing up to the team emotionally just fall apart when anybody criticizes you. That became like 80% of Green Berets, mind you, not just the military or soldiers or infantry. We're talking about dudes that put the beret on, showing up just not fucking ready and not prepared, man.
Nate, do you think it's better to come into selection a little bit older?
Oh, I talk about, I talk about this all the time. I'm very specific on age, demographics, and where you should go. If you are 18 to 21, I'm going to say you should go to the infantry, be a construction worker, go to Ranger Battalion, get an Option 40 contract. I don't give a fuck what it is. Do not try to go become a Green Beret at 21 years old. I saw maybe one dude manage it at like 21 to 22. Like It is it's an older man's game. Do not waste your time. Get some experience under your belt. I would say the perfect age is about that, like 23 to 26, 27 to like start selection, start the Q course. Like you're still young, you're fresh, you're like in the best shape of your entire life that you're ever going to be, right? Your recovery is still good. but you're also a little bit more mature than you were at fucking 19 years old. Okay. And it's going to allow you, it's going to allow you to have a lot more success. Okay. That way, when you graduate the Q course, you're 26, 27, 28, you're showing up to a team, you're still the baby at 27. I can promise you that. We had on my last ODA, our youngest guy was 27. He was our captain. Everybody else was 35 to 45 in the entire team, right? So 27, 28 is still a baby. But you're going to be mature enough that you can handle your own. You're a grown man at that point, things like that, right? So that's what I suggest. If you want to go special ops, I'm telling you, and you're young, go be a SEAL, go be a Ranger, like go to the infantry, get your feet wet that way, because the maturity, like while it's important, is not as huge of a factor as what they're looking for specifically. Because as a Green Beret, they're looking for somebody that can work autonomously away from the government without any oversight. And typically a 22-year-old kid is not going to be the choice for that.